Nigeria, Nigeria, my country, a country full of captured people. At an event I attended last week, the national anthem was to be sung. And instead of the national anthem we all knew and have sung for the last 46 years, an older version that it replaced was sung. And I refused to stand to honor that anthem. There was no discussion, no agreement that the national anthem needed to be changed. Some elected politicians and even those that foisted themselves on us decided they were going to change the national anthem, and they did. They had their way. I will have my way. The right they had to make such decision is the right I have not to stand. As usual, there were different reactions to the fact that I refused to stand up to a national anthem foisted on us without consultation. Many called for my arrest for disrespecting the nation, and some said what I did was a treasonable offense. I actually laughed in 3D. They were not angry that they had been disrespected by those they voted to represent them. Neither were they angry that a man decided he didn't want the national anthem, and at the slight opportunity he grabbed and ran with. He changed the national anthem with impunity and disdain for the people. What a people! What a captured people! A nation of over 200 million people reduced to being like toys that I toyed with disdainfully. As for those calling for my arrest, let me tell you something. I will rather go to prison 100 times than stand to an anthem that was foisted on the people without consultation. It is one thing to be disrespected and stripped of dignity by those we voted to represent us. It is another thing for us to disrespect ourselves and strip ourselves of dignity by accepting whatever obnoxious law passed without consultation with the citizen whose office is the highest office in the land. I refuse to allow anyone disrespect me or strip me of my dignity as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Kate, how far?
Yeah, and the beat goes on. I just want to say that I don't think the people had much of a choice in terms of their votes being counted. So these people do not care about consideration for the people, for their opinions on whatever. The trend is becoming too obnoxious, too open, like they don't give two FA. You know what that means. Yeah. About the people. They don't care. They're so far removed from what is going on, and it's like, I like it, I want it, I buy it, and I get it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because if it could be changed, I think it's just taking us back to the slave mentality. Nigerians wrote this anthem, but that's going to my advocacy. It's your right. The more onus is on the people who are there to serve us. They are there to serve us. Let's not get it twisted.
Okay, Yinka, I see you're eager to say something. Me? Go ahead.
Yes.
Actually,
Yinka, by my side.
I actually thought I was just going to be a spectator.
Why would you be a spectator at the table?
At the table.
At the table, spectator is on the other side of the screen.
Okay, I think that it was a lost opportunity for the government in the way to which the law was passed and the anthem was changed. I think that, and I agree with you that similar to what happened in 1978, where there was that, competition that gave rise to the arise of compatriots
Nigerian
anthem. We could have had a similar activity, a debate or a competition, whatever. And then, to bring in Nigerians to give their own ideas about
people a chance.
Now, having said that, I would say that it's not the agitation for change of let me not use agitation. I mean, the quest for the change of the national anthem is not today. It has been there. All right, maybe not loud quest, but it has always been there. And it has been there, among Nigerians that are maybe much older, who view with nostalgia this national anthem. Even I myself, sometimes I find myself, I looked at it, how old was I when this anthem was changed? I was only about 6 years old. But I can remember the whole national anthem, which meant that for one reason or the other, when I was in kindergarten or nursery, I was singing the whole national anthem. So to that class of people, when they talk about the whole national anthem and the fact that it reflects our diversity, the unity of our diversity, they talk about going back to that. And then you now have our president who campaigned on changing that. So sometimes also elections have consequences. So in a way, when you look at it, yes, it was a lost opportunity, but it wasn't as if he didn't do what he said he was going to do.
Okay, just one out of 1,000.
So that's my own view, on the subject, and I think that it was a lost opportunity. They should have engaged Nigerians. It would have been an opportunity to cure some of the issues, some of the wordings around the old, things like D. What is D?
The spirit of Nigeria.
You people are hating
native land.
Yeah, that's locals.
It was like,
you are the locals.
We could have cured some of those things and really reflect an anthem that reflects our modern realities.
So for me, I think there's a lot of ridiculousness around the agitation about whether it was changed or whether we were consulted or not. If we allow the government to trigger us, to say the things that, to show how we don't have things to do, then we're just falling into their traps. There are more important things that we perhaps might even want to be able, as much as we say that that is more important. There are more important things that we too could have, focused on, and in terms of asking us, could that be what they call referendum in the UK and any of those places where they say, do we go Brexit or not? I cannot remember in my how many years of living in Nigeria that anybody asked me those kind of questions. And frankly, right now, I'm not about to answer anybody any of those questions. If I was asked which or which, I would say, Mr. President or whoever it is that is making that decision, can you just get that done, perhaps in 2 hours, so we can get on to the next one? If you want to change it, go ahead and change it. If you don't want to change it, leave it.
So the people don't count.
The
people don't count in any way.
And that is not what I said.
No, you said the person that has to change it should go ahead and change it. You didn't say.
People do not have, like I said, in my how many years of living in Nigeria, I can't remember the last time I was consulted about things like that.
But you should be consulted.
No, I don't have to be consulted.
Okay, you aside, the rest of us,
a lot of
I want
Nigerians
to be
don't care
consulted about
that.
decisions concerning me.
About the national anthem?
Yes, it's mine.
So it's
mine. Sorry, Aisha. Yes, there are more important things to focus on, like the economy, like hunger, like inflation. It's not the anthem. There are really more important things.
So before I go on to Zuma, it's just to say that you just contradicted yourself. Earlier on when we were talking about Zuma's advocacy, you talked about citizens. You blamed the citizens. You're quick to blame the citizens. You did blame them. They don't run for office.
Not change my
Hold on. We'll go back and when they
citizens should get up and participate.
So that's the blaming. They don't always do it. So they have better things to do, and that's the reason why they are not going into it. But anyway, Zuma, let's talk about it.
Concern is the fact that I can sing the anthem. I don't know where I got it from, but the moment I said, "Oh yeah, I know this, I can sing it," so I'm worried.
Subconscious.
Yeah, for my subconscious, I was worried.
Maybe you were born before.
I hope not. I wouldn't want to do this country twice. Anyway,
I heard that.
So my thoughts about the new national anthem. I feel like the timing is very wrong. Nigerians have had to deal with so many different changes in the past 1 year that we are just trying to adjust to. I don't think it's the right time to change the national anthem. And I don't think, even if we're going to change it, I don't think that should be the crux of conversation on the 1 year mark of this current administration. It could that was like what everybody was talking about. We should be talking about other things, not, we have to learn a new anthem. The government, again, on this particular situation, not impressed. And also on the choice of anthem. I am aligned with Yinka in that space because, again, there are so many things. It could have been an open contest test. It could have
Which
kept
Yinka?
it open. Your Yinka. You know, we could have had a whole lot of, there could have been a lot of fanfare around this to drive unity, to drive inclusion across all the regions, across all the sector, get the young people involved, get the poets and all of that. We can definitely do much better. But again, we are where we are. We have a new anthem. Nigeria, we hail thee.
Where?
For me, Aisha Yusufu, my anthem is alright.
You'll be singing
And the
it
thing
alone.
is that, also to just quickly add, is the fact that, you know, we see certain things, they are testing the ground. So if they can pass this, with such
you
impunity
just
in
watch this
one
space.
day,
Yep.
everything, the first, second, third reading, House of Rep, for the Senate, first, second, or the same day, and then 5 days later, the third day.
Rubber stamp.
So what do we expect? Before we know what's happening, we'll be having live presidency. Standing for our